Hey, it's Althea with Little Llama Crochet. Today we're going to learn how to crochet this continuous granny rectangle blanket. As you can see, my blanket still turned out a little bit square, but I think if you double up on the initial rectangle that goes into the center, you can make a really elongated one if that's the look that you're going for. Oh, it's just so cozy and perfect for the cool weather that we have here. Ooh, I love curling up with it. Today, the materials that we're using are a Clover 4mm crochet hook, scissors, a yarn needle, and then I'm using the Scheepjes Chunky Monkey in gold, rust, and then the green I think is moss green, but I'll put the colors below. We're going to start with our slip knot. So then you're going to wrap your yarn around your index finger, and then the working end is going to come up and over, and then you'll pull it off. I've got a tutorial down below if you need. We'll grab our crochet hook, and we're going to actually start with 11 foundation double crochet. So to make those, you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up 2 loops. Now we're going to yarn over and go back to our initial loop there, yarn over, and we have 3 loops on our hook. And now this will be a little bit different. So we're going to yarn over, chain 1, and that's the first chain. And now we're going to do a double crochet. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through the next 2. And that actually creates our first double crochet in the set. So now we're going to yarn over again. Now you're going to go into the stitch that we created. Yarn over, pull up 3 loops on your hook. And now we're going to first create our chain. Yarn over, pull up 1 loop, that's your chain, and now you're going to double crochet. So yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2 again. So we'll continue along. So yarn over through the stitch that we just created, yarn over, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull up 1 loop, that's going to be our chain, and now we're going to finish our double crochet. So yarn over through 2, actually, and you can see even I get stuck. So it's all right. That's the best thing about crochet is you can always frog it. So we're going to just undo it and we can start again. Ready? So we'll yarn over, insert our hook under the into the chain into the stitch we just created. 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through just the first loop to create our chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through the next 2. And now we'll go yarn over through the stitch we just created. And then pull up 3 loops on our hook, yarn over through just the first loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through the last 2. And you'll see I'm actually forgot to yarn over there, but that's okay. You just take your hook out, yarn over, and then we'll go through our stitch that we just created. 3 loops on our hook, yarn over through the first one as our chain, yarn over through 2 to finish the double crochet, yarn over through the last 2. Yarn over through the stitch that we just created, pull up 3 loops on our hook, yarn over through the first loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through the last 2. Yarn over through the stitch that we just created, yarn over, pull up through 1, yarn over through the last 2, or through 2 and through the last 2 as our double crochet. And please remember that you can slow this down and go back and rewatch it. This is kind of like the trickiest part of setting up your continuous granny rectangle. Will be setting up this initial foundation double crochet chain here. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through the last 2. So now we're going to count to see how many we have here. We want 11 total. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. All right, sorry. Actually, I'll use my crochet hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we want 11 total. So we're going to add a few more. So let's get to 11. So we'll yarn over through the stitch that we just created, yarn over 3 loops on our hook, yarn over through the first loop. Now we'll continue yarn over through 2, yarn over through the last 2 for our double crochet. Another one, that's 10, so 11, yarn over through the stitch we just created, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over through the first loop here as our chain, yarn over to finish through 2 for our double crochet, yarn over through the last 2. And now we've got 11 foundation double crochet. And you can actually extend that however long that you want to make your continuous granny square rectangle. For this one, I did 11, and now we're going to go and complete the double crochet across the top. So you can actually make this flexible for however long you want to create it. If you want to double it up and do 22, then you'll actually get a much longer blanket. So now we're going to turn our work, but first we're going to chain 1. So we'll chain 1 and we'll turn our work. And now to complete the double crochet across the top, we're going to use a fun new way to get there. So we're going to go into the knot on the back bump there, yarn over. We have 2 loops on the hook. Now you're going to go through our stitch how we usually would, yarn over, 3 loops on our hook. And now we're going to complete our double crochet. Yarn over, pull up through 2, yarn over through the last 2. And that's just a nice way to complete the double crochet across. That just prevents that gap there at the space where you do the turnover. All right, so now we're going to complete double crochet. So yarn over, insert through the stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over, pull up through 2. And you're going to work that, it's going to be 10 across the top completely because we just did the 11th one is going to be a kind of our turning stitch there. So yarn over, insert through the stitch, yarn over, pull up through 2, through 2, yarn over, insert through the stitch, up through 2, through 2, yarn over, insert, pull up through 2, yarn over, insert their stitch, pull up through 2, yarn over, insert to the last stitch, pull up through 2, through the last 2. And there we go. So now you've got our rectangle of double crochet that's going to be the center of our continuous granny rectangle blanket. So the next part we're going to work is going to be the granny corner, and then start kind of the granny stitch pattern that's going to work around our rectangle. So now if you want to turn it, I like to do that to see. We're going to do a chain 3. Chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, which will begin the beginning of our square. All right, let's review. So you're going to yarn over, chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, yarn over again, insert your hook into that same stitch, and we're going to place 2 more double crochet. Yarn over, through, loop through 2, loop through 2, yarn over again through 2, and now we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and that's going to work our corner. And now we're going to yarn over and place 3 double crochet into that same stitch again. Okay, yarn over, insert your hook through the stitch, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2 again. And if you need to slow this down, that's okay. This is actually quite fast. I think it might be for if you've done the granny stitch before. All right, so we're going to chain 1 in order to get to the next corner. However, this is a great one for beginners because I do believe that anyone can learn how to crochet. We rewind and watch it back. All right, so we're going to chain 1 anytime that you finish the granny stitch in order to go to your next space. So now we're going to work the same corner stitch that we just did into that corner. So we're going to yarn over, insert your hook, and complete a double crochet. We're going to do a set of 3. That's going to be your granny stitch, is 3 double crochet. So we'll do 2 more into that same stitch. Excellent. Now we're going to chain 3 again because this is a corner stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, and we want to do another set of 3 double crochet, which is our granny stitch. And 3 to finish our little corner there. And now we're done a granny stitch. We're going to chain 1 out of there. Excellent. So now you're going to skip 2 stitches below and do a granny stitch into the 3rd stitch there. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through 2 to make sure you have 3 total. We're going to chain 1 because we've completed our granny stitch, skip 2 stitches below, and then complete a granny stitch into that 3rd stitch there. Good job. And 3. Now we're going to chain 1 because we've completed the granny stitch of 3 double crochet, skip 2, and the third one we're actually going to put our corner stitch. So you're going to yarn over and complete 3 double crochet, the granny stitch. And because this is the corner, afterwards we're going to do chain 3 and 3 more double crochet or a granny stitch into that corner. Okay. And now, unfortunately, I lost that video, but after you complete the corner stitch, I'm doing another one. So just repeat this. You're going to chain 1 to go towards it, and it's 3 double crochets. So for that corner stitch, it's always going to be in every corner, except for the one you change colors. You're going to place 3 double crochet, or it's called the granny stitch. So 3 double crochet, and then you'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you'll yarn over and place 3 more double crochet into the same stitch. And that creates a nice little 90-degree angle or corner there. And now after you finish a granny stitch, you're going to chain 1. So we're going to skip 2 below, and we're going to place a granny stitch into the third stitch there as we complete our rectangle. 3, chain 1. After you complete your granny stitch, count 2 stitches below, and you're going to put a granny stitch into the third stitch there. 2 and 3. Excellent. Great job. Now we've completed our granny stitch, so we should have 2 left below, but we need to make sure we chain 1 there. So you're going to chain 1 because we completed a granny stitch, and now we're going to work 4 slip stitches across the top. I think I only do 3, but we want to do 4 here. So you're going to go to the top of the chain 3 that you did previously. Yeah, hi. This is my cat. I don't know if you can hear her. You're such a cutie. Come here. So you're going to slip stitch. So you insert your hook, yarn over, and then pull all the way through for your complete slip stitch here. Slip stitch 1. You're going to work 2, and then you want to work 3 and then 4 in the corner. So only do 3 here before I do my color change, but I for the rest of the blanket I like to do 4, so I just want to make sure I mention it here. But we're going to grab, either way, we're going to grab our new color, and we're going to get ready to pull it through. So you're going to yarn over, pull through your new color to complete your slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 3, and you're going to incorporate your tails. So chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and then this is going to be our corner stitch. So now we're going to yarn over and work 2 double crochet for our granny stitch, because that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet for the corner stitch. And so next we're going to chain 3, and that's where we're going to now work our corner stitch. So for the corner stitch, you chain 3 and then a granny stitch. So 3 double crochet, and you're going to be incorporating your tails in this first corner because that really locks them in. And then I like to weave them in afterwards with a yarn needle. And 3 double crochet. Excellent. And now we chain 1 because we've finished our granny stitch. And in our first, we call this a chain space. We're going to place a granny stitch. So I like to put my tails down, or else you're going to see them on the back. We'll weave them in after. And we're going to place 3 double crochet or a granny stitch. 1, 2, 3 into that chain space. And now we finished a granny stitch, so we're going to chain 1 out of it. Excellent. Now we're into a corner. So we're going to work our corner stitch. Our corner stitch is 3 double crochet or a granny stitch. 1, 2, 3. And this is every corner, okay, except the one you change colors. And then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then another granny stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Double crochet. And I'm using US terms here. We'll chain 1. And now we're at our first chain space. In the chain space, you're going to always place a granny stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. And now after our granny stitch, you do a single chain. And we're at our next chain space. In every chain space, you're going to place a granny stitch. 2, 3. It's really nice. This is a nice repeatable pattern. After our granny stitch, you work a single chain. Now we're at a chain space. We place a granny stitch. Excellent. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to work our single chain. And now we're at the corner. So in the corner, we're going to work our corner stitch. And remember, our corner stitch is 3 double crochet, 3 chains, and then 3 double crochet. 2 and 3. Excellent. And now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and work your double crochet. Sometimes, and it's okay to make mistakes, you just undo it. Really easy. That's the best thing about crochet. I like it. There's no kind of like, when you're using pencil and there's an eraser mark, you can still see. I know that probably a perfectionist trait. Anyhow, but with crochet, you just undo it. It's lovely. So chain 1 to go to our next chain space. And in the chain space, you're going to work a granny stitch, which is 3 double crochet. Afterwards, you're going to work a single chain to get to the next corner. In the corner, we're going to work our corner stitch, which is 3 double crochet or the granny stitch, a chain 3, followed by 3 double crochet. Wonderful. 2 and 3. Okay, chain 1 because we finished our granny stitch. And now in our chain spaces, we're going to work in the chain spaces, you work a granny stitch, which we have 3 left. So we'll do our first one, granny stitch in the chain space, chain 1, second granny stitch. Good job. Double crochet. It's really nice. I love getting into a really good flow with the granny stitch. That's why I love it. It's kind of like once you get it, you just work this same granny stitch in each of the chain spaces. And then when you get to the corner, you work the corner stitch. And when you get back to the beginning, we change colors. It's lovely. All right, so we're going to chain 1 out of it, and we're going to work our color chain. Okay, so this is the last color change that I do on video, and then the rest of you're gonna just kind of work the same pattern. So we're gonna work our slip stitch in order to get to the corner for our color change. So slip stitch 1, slip stitch 2, slip stitch 3. Okay, so I do it slightly different. I did 3 slip stitches last time, and then I did the color change on the third, where this is going to be the 4th. This is what I find I tend to do the most often, is I'll do 4 slip stitches, and then to get to the corner, yarn over on the last one. And you'll pull through. There we go. And then I pull the tails to the front, sometimes if you're worried that you're not going to see them. And then we're going to chain 3, okay? So chain 1, 2, 3. Excellent. And then we're going to work 2 more double crochet, because this is our kind of like our beginning of the pattern there. So double crochet 1, double crochet 2. And that chain 3 is supposed to be that third double crochet of the granny stitch there. There you go. So now we're going to chain 3. Excellent. And now we'll yarn over and do a granny stitch, the 3 double crochet over our tails. 1, 2, and then 3. Excellent. Now we're going to chain 1 because we just finished our granny stitch. We'll put our tails away. We'll weave in the yarn ends later, and we're going to work a granny stitch into our chain spaces. And this time we've got 2 chain spaces because we're increasing each round, right? And with this pattern, you're not going to turn your work. You're always going to be facing the same way. So your work will kind of have like a right side, wrong side. But I find with the granny stitch, honestly, look, right? Can you tell? Can you tell which is the right side, wrong side? They look beautiful, both sides. Both sides look beautiful. I love it. All right, so we work another granny stitch into our chain space there. Excellent. And then we are going to chain one and we get to our first corner. In the corner, we're going to work our corner stitch. All right, and so I'm going to let you continue this pattern the entire way around. So in the corners, you're always going to be placing your corner stitches. So here you go. So here's kind of what it looks like with that new color. Let's talk it through. So you're going to start your round with your color change. You do your slip stitches. In your chain space, you put your granny stitch, right? In every chain space, your granny stitches. And then in the corner, you're going to place your corner stitch, which is 3 double crochet, chain 3, and then 3 double crochet. And then in our chain spaces, we're going to place the granny stitch. And then in the corners, you're going to work the corner stitch. And there you go. That's how you complete the continuous granny rectangle blanket. It's been a year in the making. I actually got to frog a lot of old projects that I had done with the Scheepjes Chunky Monkey yarn, and then frog it and incorporate it all into this one big project, which has been kind of the best of not having a bunch of little projects all around and getting to have a really nice functional crochet piece. I hope you love it. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you want to learn how to create the kind of original OG granny square, I've got a video that I'll link here. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a lovely time. Bye, hun.